My beloved, do not rush past this moment. I know you have things to do. I know your mind is full. I know you have learned to keep moving because stopping for even a moment often allows the pain to catch up with you. But stop now. Listen to my voice. Because I did not bring you here by accident. Before you woke up today, I already knew this conversation would happen. Before your eyes opened this morning, I had already prepared this moment. You may think you found these words. No. I found you. I have been calling your heart far longer than you realize. Not with anger. Not with disappointment. But with a love that has never grown tired of waiting. There is something I need you to hear today that could change everything about the way you see your life. Stay with me until the end. Because before this message is over, I will reveal why the waiting has felt so painful and why it has never meant I abandoned you. My child, I have watched you fight battles that nobody else knows exist. I saw the nights when sleep would not come because your thoughts refused to become quiet. I saw you staring at the ceiling, replaying conversations, replaying failures, replaying disappointments, wondering if you had somehow missed my voice, wondering if I was still listening. You smiled during the day. You answered people's questions. You carried responsibilities. But inside, you were exhausted. Not physically. Spiritually. You kept asking yourself, how much longer? Why hasn't anything changed? Did God forget about me? Every time those questions filled your heart, I was there. Closer than the air filling your lungs. Closer than the tears you tried so hard to hide. I never walked away. Not once. If your heart is beginning to recognize my voice right now, I want you to do something simple. Type amen in the comments. Not for me. I already know your heart. Do it because sometimes faith begins with one small act of surrender. Let that word become your declaration that you are willing to listen. Now stay with me. Because what I reveal next is something many people never understand while they are living through their hardest season. You have believed the waiting was empty. It wasn't. You believed silence meant absence. It didn't. You believed delay meant rejection. My beloved, that has never been true. The enemy wanted you to measure my love by my timing. But my love has never been measured by speed. It has always been measured by my presence. And I have never left you. Even during the days when you stopped praying. Even during the weeks when you wondered whether your prayers mattered anymore. Even when disappointment slowly built walls around your heart. I stayed. I watched every silent tear slide down your face. I heard every prayer you never finished because you were too discouraged to keep talking. You thought your silence meant the conversation had ended. But I was still listening. There were moments when all you could whisper was, Jesus. And that single word reached heaven louder than you realized. Because I understand what your heart cannot always explain. You have been carrying a burden I never asked you to carry. The burden of trying to understand everything before trusting me. That burden is crushing you. You keep searching for reasons. Searching for timelines. Searching for signs. Searching for certainty. Meanwhile, I have been inviting you into something much deeper. Trust. Not blind trust. Relationship. There is a difference. You trust strangers because they make promises. You trust me because I have remained faithful even when you could not see what I was doing. Look back. not just at your disappointments. Look farther. Remember the doors that closed, the relationships that ended, the opportunities that disappeared, the prayers that seemed unanswered. You called those losses. But if I showed you everything I protected you from, you would call many of them miracles. You never saw the dangers I quietly moved away from your path. You never saw the heartbreak I prevented. You never saw the battles fought in the unseen places while you slept. You only saw what you lost. I saw what you escaped. That is why I need you to remain here. Because what I'm about to reveal may completely change how you see your waiting. The waiting was never punishment. The waiting was preparation. Preparation inside you, not merely around you. You asked me to bless your future. So I began transforming your heart first. Because blessings placed into an unprepared heart often become burdens. You prayed for peace. But before giving peace, I had to uncover the fears hidden beneath your smile. You prayed for purpose. Before revealing purpose, I needed to heal the wounds that convinced you your life had little value. You prayed for greater things. Before greater things could arrive, you needed to know that my presence was greater than every blessing. That lesson cannot be rushed. It must be lived. My beloved, I know how lonely this season has felt. Some days you felt surrounded by people, yet completely unseen. Nobody knew how tired you really were. Nobody understood why your heart felt heavy even when everything appeared fine. You kept saying, "I'm okay." But I knew the truth. You weren't okay. And you didn't need to pretend with me. You never have. I have never asked you to impress me. I have only asked you to come closer. Come with your questions. Come with your doubts. Come with your fears. Come with your unfinished prayers. Come with your broken hopes. Bring them all. Because I already know them. And I am not overwhelmed by any of them. Most people think they must become stronger before coming to me. No. Come because you are weak. Come because you are tired. Come because you cannot carry tomorrow while still holding yesterday. I am not waiting for a stronger version of you. I am waiting for the real you. Stay with me. Because the next truth is one the enemy hoped you would never discover. Your greatest battle has never been your circumstances. It has been the quiet belief that you must carry everything alone. That lie has exhausted you. It has stolen your joy. It has convinced you that asking for help somehow makes you weak. But listen carefully. The strongest faith is not pretending you have enough strength. The strongest faith is admitting you don't. That is where I meet you. Not in your performance. Not in your perfection. But in your surrender. Are you still listening? Then let these words become your own. Type "Jesus is with me" below. Because I want you to remember this moment the next time fear whispers that you are alone. You are not alone. You never were. And the most important revelation is still ahead. What I am about to show you may explain why heaven has been so patient with your journey. Stay with me. I am only beginning. My beloved, there is something I have been waiting to tell you. Not because I wanted to keep it hidden, but because your heart had to become quiet enough to receive it. You have spent so much time asking me to change your circumstances, when all along I was first changing you. I know that is difficult to hear, especially after all the tears, especially after all the waiting. especially after the nights when you whispered, "Lord, how much longer?" I heard every word, even the ones you never spoke aloud. Do you remember those moments when you almost gave up praying? When it felt easier to distract yourself than to hope again? I remember them. I was sitting beside you then, not watching from a distance, not waiting for you to become stronger. I was carrying you when you no longer had the strength to carry yourself. There were mornings you thought you had somehow managed to get through another day by your own determination. No, my child. It was my grace. There were decisions you made that seemed small, yet they quietly protected your future. That was my hand. There were conversations that unexpectedly ended, doors that suddenly closed, plans that fell apart at the last minute. You called them disappointments. Heaven called them rescue. One day I will let you see everything I quietly spared you from. And when you do, you will understand why I never apologized for every closed door. Because I loved you too much to let everything you desired become everything you received. I see farther than your pain. I see beyond today. I see the story you cannot yet imagine. That is why my timing has never been careless. It has always been compassionate. The enemy wanted you to believe my delays were proof that I had forgotten you. But listen carefully. Silence is not the absence of my activity. Sometimes my greatest work happens where your eyes cannot reach. Seeds grow underground long before anyone celebrates the harvest. The foundation of a house is built before anyone admires its beauty. And faith, real faith, is formed before miracles become visible. That is what has been happening inside you. Even when you believed nothing was changing, something holy was growing beneath the surface. You have become more compassionate, more patient, more dependent upon me, more aware that my presence is worth more than temporary success. Those changes may not impress the world, but they move heaven. Because I have never measured your life by achievements. I measure it by intimacy. The world tells you to chase more. I invite you to come closer. Those are not the same journey. Stay with me. Because what I reveal next may explain why your heart has felt such intense spiritual pressure. You wondered why discouragement seemed heavier than before. Why fear became louder. Why old memories suddenly returned. Why temptation seemed stronger. It wasn't because I abandoned you. It was because the enemy recognized something you did not. He could see that you were getting closer to freedom. Darkness always resists the person who is beginning to walk into light. The enemy is not afraid of your past. He is afraid of your future. He knows what happens when you finally believe what I have always said about you. He knows what happens when shame loses its voice. He knows what happens when fear no longer controls your decisions. He knows what happens when you stop measuring my faithfulness by your emotions. That is why he has whispered, "Nothing is changing. You'll always be this way. Your prayers don't matter. You've waited too long. My beloved." Those whispers never came from me. My voice does not accuse. My voice restores. My voice does not shame. My voice calls you higher. Every lie that told you I had forgotten you, break it now. Every lie that convinced you were too broken, release it now. Every lie that said your story had already been written, reject it now. Because I am still writing. The chapter you are living is not the ending. It is preparation for what comes next. Many people quit because they mistake the middle of the story for the end. Don't make that mistake. I have not finished with you. Not even close. There are prayers you forgot you prayed. I have not forgotten them. There are dreams you buried because disappointment convinced you they were dead. I still remember them. There are promises you stopped expecting. I still hold them. Nothing entrusted to me is ever lost. Nothing. My child, do you know what I long for more than anything? Not your perfection. Not flawless obedience. Not impressive spiritual performance. I desire your heart. The real one. The one hidden behind the smiles. The one nobody else sees. The one that still wonders if it is enough. Come to me with that heart. Not after you fix it. Now. Bring me your anxiety. Bring me your confusion. Bring me your disappointment. Bring me your questions. You have spent so much energy trying to protect yourself from being hurt again. I understand why. Life has wounded you. People have disappointed you. Promises have been broken. Trust has become difficult. But hear me carefully. I am not asking you to trust people who betrayed you. I am asking you to trust the one who never has. There is a difference. I have never lied to you. I have never abandoned you. I have never stopped working for your good, even when my work remained invisible. If these words are reaching the deepest part of your heart, if you know I have carried you through battles no one else even noticed, then write "I trust you, Jesus" in the comments. Not because I need your words, but because your own heart needs to hear your faith speaking louder than your fear. My beloved, now let me tell you something beautiful. Heaven celebrates every small step you take toward me. You think only giant moments matter. You think dramatic breakthroughs impress me. But I smile when you whisper one honest prayer. I rejoice when you choose forgiveness instead of bitterness. I delight when you worship me even while your circumstances remain unchanged. Those quiet victories are precious. The world overlooks them. Heaven does not. Every act of trust becomes another stone laid beneath the future I am building for you. Nothing is wasted. Not your tears. Not your waiting. Not your loneliness. Not even your failures. When surrendered to me, I redeem everything. The enemy creates ashes. I create beauty from ashes. The enemy wounds. I heal. The enemy steals. I restore. The enemy condemns. I call you beloved. Can you hear the difference? One voice pushes you farther into despair. The other invites you home. Always choose the voice that reminds you of my love. Because my love has never depended upon your worst day. You may have stumbled, but you are not abandoned. You may have fallen, but I am still reaching for you. You may feel weak, but my strength has always been greatest inside surrendered hearts. Stay with me just a little longer, because in the final part of this message, I will reveal what heaven has been preparing during your season of waiting, why this chapter is beginning to shift, and why the breakthrough you thought was delayed may be much closer than you realize. Do not leave now. The most important promise is still to come. My beloved, you have stayed with me this far. That is not a small thing. Because every moment you have remained here, something has been happening inside your heart that you cannot yet fully see. Faith has been quietly replacing fear. Hope has been breathing where despair once settled. And the walls you built to protect yourself have begun to crack, not because you became stronger, but because my love has been gently reaching them. Now I want to tell you something that heaven has known all along. Your story is not defined by what you have lost. It is defined by what I am restoring. The enemy tried to convince you that the broken pieces scattered across your life could never become beautiful again. He wanted you to believe your failures were permanent. Your disappointments were final. Your waiting was meaningless. But he has never had the authority to write your ending. Only I do. And I am still writing. There were seasons when you believed you were standing still. Yet beneath the surface, I was moving mountains you could not see. I was softening hearts, redirecting paths, closing doors that carried hidden danger, opening doors that required patience before they could safely welcome you. Nothing has been wasted. Not one tear. Not one prayer. Not one lonely night. Every moment has been gathered into my hands. Do you remember the nights when you cried without making a sound because you did not want anyone else to hear? I heard you. When your pillow caught your tears, my heart held them first. When anxiety whispered that tomorrow would only bring more disappointment, I was already standing in your tomorrow. You feared what was ahead because you could not see it. I was already there preparing the way. That is why I tell you, do not fear tomorrow. You are not walking into an unknown future. You are walking into a future where I am already waiting. I never ask you to face a day before my presence arrives there first. Take hold of that truth, because it will steady your soul when uncertainty tries to shake you again. The breakthrough you have longed for may not arrive exactly the way you imagined, but it will arrive in the way that best reflects my wisdom and my love for you. Sometimes I answer by opening a door. Sometimes I answer by changing your heart before changing your circumstances. Sometimes I answer by removing what would have destroyed you. And sometimes I answer by revealing that my presence was the miracle sustaining you all along. Never underestimate quiet miracles. The world celebrates sudden victories. Heaven often celebrates faithful endurance. Every day you chose not to give up, that was a miracle. Every morning you got out of bed despite the heaviness in your heart, that was my strength working within you. Every time you whispered my name when you had no words left, that was faith. Do not despise those moments. They are sacred. Stay with me, because I want to reveal one final truth that many never discover until much later. The greatest blessing I desire to give you is not merely an answered prayer. It is a transformed heart. Because circumstances change. People change. Opportunities come and go. But a heart anchored in me remains unshaken. When storms return, and you will not stand because life became easy. You will stand because you know who walks beside you. That confidence is worth more than temporary comfort. You have spent so much of your life asking, Lord, where are you? Soon your heart will begin asking a different question. Lord, what are you showing me? That single change will transform the way you live. Instead of seeing obstacles, you will begin seeing opportunities for my faithfulness. Instead of assuming delays mean rejection, you will recognize preparation. Instead of fearing closed doors, you will trust the one holding every key. That is freedom. And freedom begins long before circumstances change. It begins the moment you believe that my love is enough. My child, you do not have to earn my affection. You never could. You do not have to prove your worth. The cross already declared it. You belong to me, not because you never failed, but because my mercy has always been greater than your failures. I have never loved a future version of you more than I love you right now. Read that again in your heart. I love you now. Not after you overcome every weakness. Not after you become more disciplined. Not after you finally stop struggling. Now. That is why you can come boldly before me. Not with confidence in yourself, but with confidence in my grace. The road ahead will still have challenges. I will not promise you a life without storms, but I do promise this. You will never face another storm alone. When fear knocks at your heart, I will be your peace. When grief weighs upon your soul, I will be your comfort. When confusion clouds your mind, I will be your wisdom. When weakness overtakes you, I will be your strength. And when you feel like you have nothing left to give, I will carry you again, just as I always have. Before we finish, I want you to do something with me. Close your eyes if you can. Take one slow breath, and let us pray together. Father, thank you for every precious soul listening to my voice today. You know every hidden burden they carry. You know every fear they have never spoke and aloud. You know the disappointments that still ache, the dreams that seem forgotten, the prayers that have waited so long for an answer. Wrap them in your perfect peace. Replace anxiety with quiet confidence. Replace shame with the assurance of your unfailing love. Heal wounds that no one else can see. Restore hope where discouragement has taken root. Strengthen weary hearts. Remind them that your timing is never careless. Your love never fails. Your mercy never runs dry. Teach them to trust you one day at a time. Help them recognize your voice above every fearful whisper. Let them walk into each new morning knowing they are deeply known, completely loved, and never abandoned. In every season, keep their eyes fixed on you. Amen. My beloved, as you leave this moment, I want these words to remain with you. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are not invisible. Heaven knows your name. Heaven has never stopped watching over you. And even now, things are moving that you cannot yet see. The answers you have prayed for are not lost. The purpose I placed inside you has not expired. The calling on your life has not been canceled. Keep walking. Keep trusting. Keep coming closer to me. Because every step you take toward me is a step toward the life I have prepared for you. Before you leave, I invite you to write "Jesus is my hope" in the comments. Let those words become your testimony before your breakthrough arrives. If this message strengthened your heart, share it with someone who has been quietly carrying heavy burdens. Your simple act of kindness may become the answer to someone else's prayer. And if you want to continue growing in my word and my peace, stay connected to these messages so that whenever your heart grows weary, you will be reminded that my voice is still calling you home. Never forget this. I have not forgotten you. I am still working. I am still leading. I am still healing. I am still opening doors at the perfect time. The waiting is not your forever. The darkness is not your destination. Your best chapter has not yet been written. Walk forward with courage. Walk forward with peace. Walk forward knowing that I am with you. I always have been. I always will be.